Hey guys, Break here, and today I'm going to be talking about the ridiculous gold making method of patch 8.3 and how some people have been making millions and millions of gold in just a few minutes with this method. Now this is going to be half a gold guide and half a sort of gold story, because not everyone is going to be able to do this depending on how much gold you have. But it's interesting to just show you guys what people are doing, what I am doing, and hopefully you guys can do some of it as well to make a lot of gold. So basically, people are making millions of gold through the ridiculous gearing system in the new raid and in patch 8.3. And as you can see here, this is a tweet from Max, who is the guild master of Limit, who recently got the world first kill in the new raid. And as you can see, he says we're 250 million gold in debt because of corruption BOEs. And bear in mind, that's just in debt. They probably had a lot of gold before that they ended up spending. I've no idea how much they actually spent on BOEs, but it's hundreds and hundreds of millions of gold. Now, because people don't really understand this system, because it's ridiculously complicated, because I don't know why Blizzard insists on adding such complicated gearing systems, but anyway, people don't really understand it. So if they get a BOE drop, a lot of them will just post it on the auction house, and they won't really look at things like corruption, like what corruption it is, what the different trait is, whatever. They don't really look at that. A lot of people, they'll just post it up on the auction house. But these things are worth millions of gold, some of them. So I came back to BFA really only a day or two ago properly, and first thing I did was I scanned the auction house for any BOE items, and I bought out a couple which have now sold. So I'm just going to open up this. It's like a million gold right there. So I bought out these foot pads for 520,000 gold, and I resold them in just a few hours for 950,000 gold, making myself pretty much 500,000 gold profit, or after the auction house cut, about 430,000 gold profit. And the same with these gauntlets. I bought them for about 20k, sold them for 50k, so not the same profit, but still not bad. And why did I do this? How did I do this? Basically, these had a really good proc on them, and in fact I could have sold these for more than what I did, but I just didn't really understand the system at the time. Like I say, I'd literally only been back to BFA for like 30 minutes, and I was confronted with this. So one of the best corruption stats is Infinite Star. So you see when you mouse over this item, your spells have a chance to strike a nearby enemy with Infinite Star, dealing 25,000 arcane damage. And you see the number 50, that's quite high for corruption. So you know you can get different corruption. You can get like 20 corruption, 35, 50, 66. So 50 is one of the highest corruptions you can get. And Infinite Star is one of the best corruption sort of procs you can get. So you combine those together, a high corruption with one of the best procs, and the item's just worth ridiculous money. I reckon I could have sold it for 2 million, but I sold it for 1 million in just a couple of hours, and I was very happy with that. And when you scan 4 items on the auction house, you'll see that they have very different prices, and that again is because of the corruption system. For example, all of these belts, most of them are 460, these belt of concealed intent. But as you can see, one of them is priced at 850 and one of them is priced at 500, and the rest are priced at like 200. So why are these priced at more? And that's because they have good corruption. So again, this one has Echoing Void, which is one of the best corruption stats, and this one has Infinite Star. Again, that's the one we sold, which is one of the best corruption stats. So because they have such high, such good procs, corruption procs, they're just priced way higher, like double or triple what the normal one is. And this is only a 20 corruption Infinite Star. If, for example, it was a 50 corruption Infinite Star, it would be probably priced at double because it's so rare, and it would be one of the best items. So again, you just have to kind of look at both the proc and at the number. And again, this one is another 500k. Okay, it's only a void ritual, so this one's just kind of overpriced actually. But yeah, so items just vary in price ridiculously depending on what sort of corruption levels there are. So how do you make money with this method? Basically, it's pretty simple. You need to go to the auction house, scan for items that have good corruption, high level corruption, good stat proc, and see what their price is. And if their price kind of lower than what you think, you can buy them out, open your mail, go back to the auction house and repost the item for like double the price you bought it at and hope it sells. That's basically the gold making method. The reason I said at the start that this was going to be kind of a sort of story time rather than a specific gold guide is that lots of you probably won't be able to do this method because you won't have the gold to do it. I've done these flipping guides before, and I always suggest you kind of need at least sort of 300,000 gold before you start flipping, if not 500,000. I mean, you can do small flips. If you find something priced for like 20k that you think should be priced at 40k, then yeah, if you've got 100,000 gold, there's no harm in spending 20,000 flipping to 40,000. So definitely, if you don't have 100 or 200,000 gold, then this is kind of off the table for you. And realistically, you want to have at least sort of 400 or 500,000 gold before you start doing this, or you can just be risky and try it anyway. But it is a risk. It's always a risk flipping BOEs, so you need to be careful with that because sometimes things will go down in price, or you'll make a mistake, or things aren't as expensive as you thought they were, and that's going to be a problem for you. So you need to be very careful. So yeah, just opening up another mail right here with a 237,000. And again, if we go on expenses, I bought this for 150 and I resold it for 250, and then minus the auction house cut equals 237. So almost double my gold, over 50% profit from this. And this wasn't even a very exciting corruption. It only had 10 corruption, and it was just a bit of haste. So the corruption value was low, and the corruption proc wasn't very good. So how did I sell it for so much? Well, quite simply, on the auction house there were only sort of 3 of these bulwarks, and none of them had good procs, and they were all priced at 250k, and someone just priced this at 150, so it was pretty obvious what to do. Just buy it out and relist it for more. In fact, right now there are no, as far as I can see, there are no Madden bulwarks on the auction house, so when there's such a limited supply of BOEs, it doesn't really matter on the corruption. You can kind of price them how you like, as long as it's not completely terrible. Anyway, that's kind of what people have been doing, and I've spoken to a lot of the best gold makers, and trust me, this is pretty much all they're doing to make gold right now. I mean, I've done videos before, and the very richest players in the game, pretty much all they do is just flip BOEs on different servers, and that's just normally. And now is probably one of the most ridiculous times ever for BOE flipping because of all these different procs. So trust me, the very richest players in the game are doing this, and yeah, you can do it too. So I'm briefly going to go over how you can start doing this. Like I say, it won't be for everyone, but it's pretty simple, and if you've got a few 100,000 gold to spare and you want to make more, then definitely this could be something you can try. So first of all, you need Trade Skill Master, the add-on. You kind of really need this, mostly because it shows the average price of the different BOEs across the region you're in, EU or US, and that's the main reason you need it, and it's also good for searching. So if you don't have Trade Skill Master, the add-on, I really suggest you go and download it, get the desktop app, and do all that. I've done videos on it before, so just look up one of my TSM guides. Anyway, if you have Trade Skill Master, you just want to do a quick search, something like this. You can just copy this and paste it, or just copy what I've done and put it in your own search. And this comes up with all of the BOEs between 430 and 485 item level. You could move it up to 445, but I like the 430 because that's like the price of some of the normal items. So 430 to 485 is kind of what I suggest you do. What I also suggest you do is go into Trade Skill Master, go into Settings, and put the Market Value Price Source. So click on this here, Shopping, and set this to DB Region Market Average. This means that when you search for items in the auction house, it will rank them by region average rather than your server average. And for BOEs, that's really what you want, because a lot of the BOEs probably won't have even been on your server before, so you want the region average. And so here we go. So this is them sorted by price. So this right here is listed for 41% of its region market price. So in theory, you could buy this out and you could relist it for like $1 million gold, which is about its price. Yeah, 1,090,000, as you see there, is its region market value. And you could make $500,000 gold doing that. I don't really want to do that just because it's only a 430 item level, and I'm still I think it's a bit risky flipping those, because even though it has kind of medium corruption, 35 corruption, pretty good, and a fairly good, well, in fact, one of the best procs for some plate classes. Like I know for Rep Paladins, this is one of the best. So it is a good proc, and that's why it's so expensive. But it's only 430, and it's only 35 corruption. So do I really want to risk flipping it? I wouldn't, but I'm sure someone will, and it will probably sell. And yeah, that's the basic idea, guys. You just go through seeing if anything is ridiculously underpriced, which nothing really is on this server, and we'll go on a couple more servers to see. And if it is, you can buy it out and resell it. But the most important thing is to actually understand the system and understand what procs are good for each class. For example, if you want to flip some of the cloth BOEs, you're going to want to look at what's good, for example, for mages. So what you can do is you can go on Wowhead and go on the different class guides, and down here on the left you can search corruption, and they've done a little corruption guide for each of the different classes. And if you scroll down, you can see they kind of rank the spells and the corruption procs on what is best. And right here, Infinite Stars, by far the best for a Fire Mage, followed by Echoing Void and Gushing Wounds. And in fact, you'll see these three, Infinite Stars, Echoing Void, and Gushing Wounds, are all pretty much some of the best for almost every class. So if you can get one of these three, then you're going to be good. But again, make sure, if you're flipping a plate item, go on like a Fury Warrior, a Death Knight, a Rep Paladin, and see what sort of procs are actually good for those classes, because maybe you find that for plate, Infinite Stars actually isn't the best. Though actually I think it still is, but it could be different. And here we are with Balanced Druid, again Gushing Wound, Infinite Star, Echoing Void are all the best again, and Rep Paladin, Echoing Void, and Infinite Star are both very good. So yeah, I'm not saying that those three are always the best, but they are three of the best, and I'm pretty sure one of them, Echoing Void, I think is getting nerfed in a few days. It will still probably be good, but maybe not as good. I don't know, just keep an eye on things. But do your research, don't just randomly go in and buy things. And remember the level, like a 15 Infinite Star is going to be worth like 3 times less or 4 times less than a 66 Infinite Star. Maybe not for Infinite Star, but that kind of thing. Some of them really don't scale well, and some of them do. So remember, you need to look at the level of corruption, the plus 15, plus 10, plus 66, whatever, and the actual proc, and the item level, of course. Don't forget that. Don't buy out a 430 and try and price it for the same as a 475, unless it's got ridiculous corruption stats. So there's basically 3 things you need to look out for: the actual item level, the corruption level, and the actual corruption proc. And if you can get 3 of those pretty good, then you can sell for millions and millions and make millions of gold profit, because people will pay a lot of gold for the best items. I've found that all the time. The past 2 expansions, I've made a lot of gold selling BOEs. It's always the same. And now with the corruption even more OP than usual, people are going to pay even more gold. So don't worry about not selling items. They pretty much will sell. But just make sure you're actually buying something that is good and not just kind of tricks you into being good, if you know what I mean. Of Of course, other things that make an item better are sockets. So if an item has a socket, it's going to be worth a bit more gold. For example, this 430, okay, it has avoidance, but that kind of sucks. And this 430 has a socket, so it should definitely be priced higher than this one. But then again, there's two more here, both normal 430s. So look, the normal 430s are priced at 80k, pretty much. And then the one with the socket is priced at 90k. You could probably price it a bit higher, but these are the old raid. These are some of the old raid items, not the new raids. So you probably don't want to be flipping those unless it's a really good deal. And I'll try and find a good item to flip right now. I mean, it's kind of early in the morning, so there might not be anything, but we'll have a look. Hope you guys are finding this useful. It's really not a scam. This actually is the best way to make gold in WoW, in terms of time spent, in terms of how much you can make, in terms of what the best gold makers, in terms of what the richest players are all doing. Like, this is the best way to make gold. There's no argument with that. It's just whether or not you like the system, whether you have the gold to do it. You know, you have to research a bit and maybe not really luck, but not be unlucky. I guess you could be unlucky and you get a really good proc, and then suddenly someone just gets that exact same proc in the raid on your server, and someone else does it as well, and then suddenly there's 3 of those items and the price goes down. So you can be unlucky, but it's pretty much a surefire way to make ridiculous gold if you can do it properly. So yeah, anything on this server? Yeah, so for the rings, it seems that it's very rare to get a corrupted ring, but it can happen. So if you can get a good corrupted proc on a ring, then it's going to sell for probably quite a lot. For example, we look through here, none of these really have a corrupted proc apart from one. But it's only versatility and it's only 20 corruption. On one of my other servers, I found one with like 50 corruption, and it was one of the best procs. So I bought it for like 500,000 and I relisted it for like 1 million or 1.2 million or something. So we'll see if that sells. So we've got an interesting item here. It is a 75 corruption infinite star. That's crazy. That's like one of the best you can get, and it's got a socket. So this would be worth like 5 million gold or something if it was a high item level. Unfortunately, it's only 445, so it's still worth a lot of gold, but not like the kind of 5 million or whatever that it would be worth if it just was a higher item level. But still, it's priced at 1 million gold, and that's probably underpricing it. You could probably sell it for 1.5. Again, I don't know how comfortable I am with buying a 445 for 1 million gold, even though it's got such good corruption. If it was priced at 500k, I'd definitely buy it and repost it for 1.5 mil. But the fact that it's priced for 1 mil, probably won't buy it. Like I say, I've only been using this gold making method for like a day or two, and I still need to kind of understand what's best. So maybe I won't risk that one. And look at this guy in trade chat selling a Zealous Reverie, however you say it, with 75 corruption and a socket and infinite star and 460 item level. And this offhand is one of the best in slot for a lot of classes. So best in slot combined with a socket and a infinite star 75. I mean, like we say, look, this is worth sort of 3 million gold. He's pricing it at 4 million gold. It's worth a lot of gold. Easily worth 3 million, I would say. So yeah, if you guys can find something like this on your server that isn't priced right, and it's priced for like a few 100,000 gold, then you've hit the jackpot. Just buy it up, relist it, spam it in trade chat if you want a quick sell. But you're going to make a lot of gold. And yeah, I don't know if the shield is BIS. I know the ring is, I think, one of the BIS for a lot of classes. Yeah, and this offhand definitely is. So again, just do your research on Wowheads, the class guides, see what they say is some of the best in slot stats, best in slot items, and those are going to be the best things to flip if you want to do it. But yeah, so here's an interesting flip we'll just do before we end. So look, all of the, like I just said, these are one of the best in slots, so they're going to be popular. The lowest price is 120k for one of these, and then the next price is 200k. And the ones that are priced at 200k, one is 445, whereas these are all 460. And these ones are both avoidance, corruption, whereas this one is versatility. And versatility isn't great, but it's it's better than avoidance for damage at least. So I think I can easily price this one at the same price as these, and it will sell because it's got a better stat. So that's 80k profit right there, or 70k when you take out the auction house cuts. So I'm actually just going to buy that out. We will relist it for 200k, and we will count our profits in a couple of days when it sells. And yes, these will take a while to sell, guys. I mean, they're expensive items. What do you expect? If you want to sell them quicker, then by all means spam in trade chats. There we go. I will sell that. Yeah, just spam it around in trade chat. But I mean, realistically, you're going to be wanting to wait a bit, but it's going to be worth it. Just realised I priced that wrong. I was supposed to price it at 198,999, not 199,998. There we go. We're now the cheapest. So yeah, that is it, guys. Again, you can't all do this probably, and it is risky, but I hope you found it interesting, if nothing else, to find out the kind of things the richest WoW players are doing to make gold right now. And you know, even if you don't go for the big, like 500k to 1 million gold sales straight away, kind of like I did, then you can just do a quick one. You know, I found one earlier on this character that was priced at 26k, these foot pads. 445 foot pads with mastery, priced at 26k, and like the cheapest one apart from that was like 90k. So immediately I've just turned 26k into sort of 80, 90k, like a 60, 70k profit just in a few minutes. So you don't have to do the really big flips, you can do the smaller ones, or you know, don't have to do it at all. But yeah, I mean, it is a lot quicker doing this than say flipping transmog or flipping pets. Like raid gear does sell quicker, that's just always how it's worked. So for those of you who really want to up your gold making game, then it is something you should perhaps look into. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Stay tuned, we've got some more BFA videos coming soon, and some classic videos as well, going to be doing both. But yeah, until next time, see ya.